Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the third crop conversation of the week. Thank you for coming along. I want to introduce you to our very esteemed guests here. We have on my left Paul Ilona, Country Manager of Harvest Plus from Nigeria. We have Busi Mazia Dixon, who's the Senior Scientist, Food Nutrition Science Laboratory at IITA, also in Nigeria. Stefan Dahan, Cassava Breeders Network Coordinator, SIAT in Vietnam. And Dominic Dafour, Food Science Specialist, International Center for Tropical Agriculture. So welcome. Thank you, everybody, for agreeing to do this thing today. I hope you all know what your question is. So the format here is I will introduce the topic, and then each of these world-renowned experts will be given one question that they have to address with a reasonably short answer. We only have about 25 minutes. So if everybody is brief, then we maybe get a chance for some conversation and some questions from the audience at the end. But let's see how we get along. So the topic is food and nutrition security. I forgot to introduce myself, I just realized, in case you all don't know who I am. My name is Ben Bennett. I'm Deputy Director of NRI, the Natural Resources Institute in the UK. And I'm an economist, so maybe I have different views from some of the more technical people on the panel here. So, as staple or supplementary foods, roots and tubers are critical sources of food and nutrition security for millions worldwide, particularly for small-scale farmers and their families. Their main nutritional value lies in their ability to provide one of the cheapest sources of energy in the form of carbohydrates in developing countries. The high yields of most root crops also add considerable benefits compared with grains, contributing both to food and income security. They can be important staple crops in areas where soil is poor and other crops may not grow well, often areas populated by the poorest people. They can also be processed and added into diverse ranges of foods and snacks, earning farmers a high income to purchase other staple foods such as rice. So obviously roots and tubers are very nutritious and very beneficial, but actually getting that nutrition in the right form and the right quantity to the people is rather a complicated thing. And we're about to start a new project for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation measuring post-harvest losses, and they asked us to measure nutritional loss. And I don't think anyone's done that before, and I'm now beginning to realize we should not have said yes to this question, because it's actually really hard. So I'm hoping some of you guys maybe have some answers to our challenges with understanding what is the nutritional loss in post-harvest losses. So, okay, Dominic, I know you feel passionately about breeding for the market, and
breeding for the market
is a very important thing. So what steps are currently being made to improve value addition for roots and tuber crops through processing, for example, and how does this impact on nutrition?
We are facing with new challenges, and now with the urbanization, with the city are bigger and bigger, and there is less people in the field, and we need to RTB crop need to participate in this evolution. The people who live in the city, they want to have ready-to-eat food, ready-to-cook root and tuber, and I think the food scientists need to develop technology and value chain with a very specific specialization. If you want to have a fresh cassava in the city, you need first to work on the genotype to have a good conservation, good transportation, good taste, and after we can talk about peeled cassava, fresh cassava, ready to cook or ready to eat. And all this value chain is to develop. And of course we need to take care during the processing to preserve the nutritional value of the roots.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, obviously when we do all this smashing and cooking and drying and storing, it's not so nutritional afterwards, is it?
No.
So, I mean, how can we deal with that?
We need to take care about, for example, for carotenoids, how to process preserving the carotenoids. there is many communication in the Congress here about this topic, and we know how to preserve the carotenoid during the processing, and we need to take care when we develop the process of this. First of all, detoxification, because we are toxic compound, but also preservation of the nutritional value of the roots. And I think that we have many examples, and the big private company have use a panelist and use sensory testing and study the product with the children, with the woman, with the family, and I think we need to develop this kind of methodology to penetrate the market and to open new market.
I mean, I think that we know that when people move to cities, they move to modern diets, and they switch to low nutrition food that's presented in a very exciting way. I guess we have to address this with our roots and tubers crops.
Yeah, I think that the people who are moving from the field to the city want to eat the traditional food that they eat at home before moving to the city. But at the moment, maybe there is no disponibility, or the price is not so affordable, and I think there is a real need to develop processed products ready to cook or ready to eat for the city. It's a good opportunity. It's a big opportunity for farmers also to produce this kind of roots or tubers or banana for the market in the city with this specific topic.
Okay, very good.